Hola, witches.
Hello.
All right, so this is Tarot and the Deviants. Um, Tonight, so today's topic is, messages from the witches of the past, the present, and the future, with a focal point of how to integrate the witch. A lot of people have challenges with integrating the witchcraft and the witch in our practice with everyday life, the mundane world. And so Melissa and I thought it would be really good to focus on messages coming from, those who have come before us and those who are currently, present with us, as well as those who will come after, those who are of the future. And so we thought we would, shuffle the cards and, pull a card for each section and category. And yeah, we'll have fun, y'all. So if you have anything that you'd like to add to it, if you want to shuffle your cards and do like a separate video and express your stuff, please do so and tag us and let us know that you've done so, because we love interacting with you. We love conversation. We love, supports and supporting, and it's just fun. So yes.
My icebreaker going off again. It's not even hooked up, but I can't figure out how to turn the damn thing off. So,
yeah.
It's really annoying. So I apologize.
It's all good. It's all good. So we'll do the witches of the past. We'll shuffle a card and we'll focus on the witches of the past and their message on how to integrate with the witch. And the witches of the past are very strong. They're very potent, very powerful. And so their messages may be a little more harsh. We'll see. But the witches of old, they're very distinct in energy, and they're very protective. They can be very crotchety too,
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens.
We shall.
That's crazy. Oh, that was interesting.
Ooh, that is interesting. Do you want to go first? Do you want me to go first? I don't mind. Either way.
Either or.
Okay, I'll go first. This is interesting. I really enjoy this interpretation. So bear in mind what Michael said earlier about the witches of the past being harsh. So here we go. The 10 of Wands. And I find the imagery in this card very interesting because, as you can see, it is all of these women who have cords attached to them, and they're all in a pose of, servitude in a way, bowing down, being and almost repressed in a kind of way. And we all know, 10 of Wands, uphill struggles, completion, but an uphill struggle. And to me, this is a message of, when integrating the witch, that whenever you allow yourself to be bound, to be subservient, that it will not go well for you. In order to integrate fully with a witch, you need to break free of those bonds. You need to accept the challenges. You can't sit out waiting, in the cold for your Prince Charming from the castle to come rescue you. You're going to have to rescue yourself. You're going to have to move forward. You're going to have to climb that hill. And if you notice, those strings aren't really, there's no one really pulling them. They just go up. There's nothing there. They're letting themselves be convinced that they are bound when they aren't. They can walk up the hill. There's even these nice little wands stuck up the hill for support. You can grab a hold of them. You can pull yourself up, but you are going to have to pull yourself up. You're going to have to get to the top of that hill and meet that person that you truly are. And the only way you can do that is to break free of what you think you're tied to. It's all in your head. It's all an illusion. You aren't bound by anything. You are free to accept the fact that you are a witch. So break free of the restraints you put on yourself and walk up the hill and claim your prize.
I like that. I also see in that card like submission in the sense to the witch. I see like exactly what you said, but also like submission to the witch, because in order for us to integrate, we have to stop fighting ourselves and fighting that aspect of ourselves that is other, that almost, it feels foreign. It feels foreign because we're taught that these things are foreign, and so it's like this letting go of the strings. We're already in that space, that position to kind of like submit and to fall into that energy, but we have these strings that are pulling at us to try, kind of like tug us awake, to make us not really fully integrate. And so it's about letting go enough to allow the witch to really take hold and to really merge with that and channel that and allow it to flow through you so that you can express as witch, fully embodied.
Oh, yes. I like that as well. Yes, I can definitely see that as well.
So, the Page of Swords reversed. What's being expressed is not to be pussies, really, and that's what's being expressed, is to stop being pussies and take your own shit and get your shit done. And it's saying, you know, you have the weapon, you have the this is going to sound so wrong, but you have the power of the tongue, the power of speech, the power of words, and a tongue, you know, your tongue can cut, you know, someone severely, as well as you can utilize the power of the tongue to really uplift and progress up. So this card, the Page of Swords reverse, is saying, you know, take the power of speech and take the power, the influence of the witches who have come before us, and take what they have offered us and allow it to intellectually stimulate you. And to take full force and charge into the future, charge into your current experience, and handle it. Stop waiting, stop thinking too much about it, but actually apply and go forward and attack the situation. This is saying that you're not in this young state of energy. You're not this young witch. You're not this new witch. You actually have practice under your belt. You actually have wisdom and experience under your belt, but you're freaking yourself out. You're scared of yourself. Therefore, you're not actually applying it to where it could be applied. So you're not stepping into your power. And so the Page of Swords reverse from the witches of old is expressing again not to be fucking pussies and to stand up, to be strong, to take their inspiration, take what they're saying to you, because they are speaking to you when you are a witch and you connect with, you know, your ancestors and spirits and such. They have guidance, and so you must take that and apply it and not hesitate when you're being forced to make a decision. So also, this is saying not to try to really create new for yourself right now. It's not about recreating anything. It's not about like making something up in your fucking head and you know, disengaging with your past or disengaging with the witches who have come before. It's about honoring and respecting what they have done for us, and you know, honoring that right now and taking that information and making it valid now, and taking that information and that spell work and that casting and that experience and pushing it into the present moment. That's what they're saying.
I like that. Yes. And, I also see, as far as, like you said, not making something new, a lot of witches have, this hesitation. Well, I want to learn this, and then I'll start practicing and I'm going to start all over here because I found a different path. And stop doing that. Quit acting like you don't know anything. You know what you know. Act on what you know.
Mm-hmm.
You have the knowledge. So don't be naive in that.
Right. And and that's kind of what they're expressing. That's what they're saying, especially with the card, and our cards together. They're just like, take care of your shit, submit and really pay attention to what's going on, rise up, speak against, do what is necessary, but also realize that they're guiding you. Connect with them, listen, and follow through. Do not try and say, well, I can do whatever I want in witchcraft, so I can just make a little spell up, or I can do this or that. I don't really have to pay attention to the energy of the path. I don't have to pay attention to the foundation. Right now you do. Right now it's very important for you to do so, because the witches of the past have this energy, they have the foundation, they have this blessing to bestow upon you. And so why not tap into that power, that influence that's already available? Why not?
Exactly. Quit holding yourself back.
Right. So that's the witches of the past. So let's do, the witches of the present, how to integrate with the witches of the present. Do you already have your card? Oh, I thought you already had your card.
No.
Like, yeah, look at you.
No.
Point, y'all. Making me look bad.
Witches of the right.
And so, the witches of the present is going to be very interesting, because there's very interesting definitions of witches right now, and there's definitely interesting expressions of the witch right now. So we shall see how this manifests. Let's see. Okay. Oh, all right. Okay, so that's interesting. Huh. I don't know what's hard to share.
Oh, did more than one pop out?
Kinda.
Okay, I'll do mine because I only got one. Or do you want to do one of yours and I'll do mine, then you do one of yours? I don't matter.
Okay, so now I'm just gonna do one.
Okay, go ahead.
Ace of
you and these reverse swords.
I know. What's up? And I've been shuffling this shit like crazy. Ace of Swords reversed. That's interesting. And so this is the message on how to integrate the witch. And this is a message from the present, which is a present time. Ace of Swords is usually like a divine blessing, a divine gift. It's something that's very, like a very high manifestation expression. And so I feel like this is more so like the divine, like this holy essence energy being made manifest in the physical realm right now. And so it's the, how do I put it? It's the bringing down of divine essence into our physical experience. So we need to realize that as much as witches are of the earth, we're of service to the earth, and as much as we have connection to the underworld, we really have to understand our connection to, the upper worlds, understand our connection to the cosmic source, the cosmos, and God or goddess or deity. And I feel like a lot of witches tend to really focus on a very mundane level, and they don't really charge or connect with a very divine space. Or they just say, oh yeah, I talk to deity, but they really don't talk to deity. There's no communication there. And so to integrate with our witch, we have to really realize that where we come from, it's a very interesting co-creative process of the underworld, the chthonic essence of the witch, the earth and such, as well as the cosmos, the heavens, if you will. And so that is being expressed because we have focused so much, and you really can tell with like Salem, the TV show, and other shows like that about witches right now. You can see the trend, that energy, where we're on like the very primal and very earthy, very traditional essence of the witch, where we also need to be paying attention to the cosmic witch, the cosmos, and really the more uplifting and the energy that comes from the divine. And we need to bring that into us so we can co-create and blend the underworld and the upper world together, so we become stronger. In order for us to step into the power of the witch, we need to make sure that we allow the divine its rightful place through us.
Yes, yes, I like that. I like it. I drew the Hanged Man, which is interesting as a present, or witch's message to integrate with a witch. The hangman is sacrifice, and that's been showing up for me a lot lately. And I find that again, this particular deck, which is a what is it?
Tarot
of the Sweet Twilight. I totally couldn't think of it for a minute. Has a lot of interesting imagery, and it's why I enjoy this deck. But in this deck, you see that, to me, the one person back here, he is reading. He has a book. He's searching for knowledge, and to me, he is the one that's possibly sacrificing a little more than the guy right here, who seems very free, very, very open. He's standing with his arms open, kind of ready to receive. It's like, okay, I've sacrificed. I've spent my time in knowledge. I've spent my time looking for what I need to know. Now I'm ready to receive. And much like your card talking about integrating the cosmos, integrating deity, reaching out and letting that flow through you. His head is tilted up to the sky, like, okay, I'm ready. I'm ready to be open. And a lot of times we have to go through that kind of humbling period. And as you can see, this imagery back here it looks like it's sort of far off in the back. Even though you can tell they're connected to the same trees, it seems like this is more of a past event, where this is more of a present event. And I can't help but think of the last year. We spent a lot of time really finding out things about ourselves and experiences that we just had to go through that were not the most pleasant in the world, but we needed to make that kind of sacrifice. And now it's time to open up and receive and let this information flow through you, so you can progress forward. So you have, granted, you still have ties that bind in a way, but not so much in a restrictive sense, but more as in, I am now connected.
Mm-hmm.
Ties that connect me to spirit, to the cosmos, to deity. I'm ready to receive. And I feel like that is a very important message. In order to integrate with a witch, you need to be ready to receive this information and have not just a one-sided discussion with deity. You need to be able to be open to hear.
Right.
You know, take all that you've experienced and offer that up. You know, look, I've gone through this and I've made these sacrifices and now I'm ready. I'm ready to receive.
I like that. That's interesting because, you know, you have the Hanged Man, which is a major card, major energy, and then
Yes.
aces. Aces are very high vibrational cards as well. So you have two really interesting cards that I co-create together. That's pretty cool because, like you said, and that's a present. That's messages from the witches of present, which means we really need to pay attention to what's going on now. We have to be willing to do what it takes. We have to be willing to sacrifice for ourselves, for the experience of the witch. And in order to bring and integrate the witch, we have to be, like you said, open to receive, ready to listen and hear and take in, as well as to know that we have to be more open to the cosmic soul right now. We have to bring down the energy and channel it and make it a reality, make it very physical. That's cool.
Yes, I love how they blended.
Yes, I do.
Now, didn't you have another one?
Yeah.
Ooh, yes.
Released, you know, you know, and that's also another interesting thing because it's so without, so everything on the internal world, internal essence, is also on the external. So the internal is made manifest externally, the physical realm. So we need to pay attention to what's going on within us because that is also a reflection of what is going to be made manifest on the outside. And it's the introvert energy transformed into extrovert. So it's introvert to extrovert. It's the internal realm, like I said, made manifest. So that really goes well with, you know, the other cards that we express. It's saying that we really need to channel that energy, divine energy, into us and be ready to listen and pay attention to what's going on, because everything that's going on internally, especially when you're hanged man essence, you are paying attention. You are taking a moment to reflect. And so as you reflect, you realize your mindset, you realize your internal thoughts. And as you pay attention to the processes that are going through you, you realize again that that is actually a manifestation in your reality, a manifestation in which you're experiencing. So that card is perfect to make sense of what's going on now, to that we really need to pay attention to the internal dialogue. We need to pay attention to how we treat ourselves within our own minds and bodies, because all of that will be manifest.
Yes, I love it. That flows so well.
No, watch out, people. Watch out. Shoot, witches 2017 stars. Our next one is the witches of the future. You know, hopefully we got some badass witches in the future, y'all. We got to make sure that shit is. We have to make sure that that happens. You know, really,
Yes.
The future is up to us. And if we keep allowing for like the pussification of witchcraft, the watering down of legit experience, the watering down, the taming down of power, skill, witchcraft, and practice, if we keep allowing that, then eventually it will be nothing. And that's just not good.
My cat is like being totally retarded right now.
That's okay.
I swear. No interrupty over here.
It's all right. It's all good in the neighborhood. Well, that's interesting. Huh.
Huh. That is interesting.
Huh.
No, man, that's kind of crazy.
Would you like to go first, or would you like me to go first? I don't really care.
I'll go first because I think you went first last time. Yeah. Getting all these majors. The Tower.
Huh.
I know, that is very interesting. You know, the message from the future seems to me like if we want to integrate with the witch right now, the message from the future is that we need to make sure our foundation is right. We may need some restructuring, you know, especially Michael talking about the watering down of witchcraft. And this to me is saying that we need to restructure. We need to rebuild. We need to get back to the foundation and start building a stronger structure,
Mm-hmm.
because it is important to those future witches. It's important to us to integrate with a witch in this way in order to ensure the future.
Right.
You know, in order to make sure that our legacy carries on. You know, so yeah,
Huh.
you need to restructure, change, huge change. This isn't like a little bit of change. This is huge, and you can see, you know, they're just kind of, it's really interesting to me how, again, with the imagery that you have a child watching the destruction. You know,
Mm.
it's like, hey, future of the children of witches is truly in our hands, and in order to ensure that they have a structure to go to, it's up to us to make sure that structure is sound,
Mm.
make sure that foundation is solid.
Right. Right. Huh. That's interesting. That's
Intriguing.
very interesting. The Ten of
Very
Pentacles,
interesting.
Ten of Coins. It's very interesting when you say, in order for us to progress and we really have to be mindful of what we're doing, we have to tear down what we've built upon, because really in the Tower card it's expressing that we've built upon falsehood, we've built upon, you know, the watering down of witchcraft, because so much lately people are so into being nice, and it's okay to be nice, but they're into being, you know, the exact opposite of really what witches are, and they're so scared of expressing actual witchcraft because they fear judgment. So people keep saying it's okay to do that, it's okay to do whatever you want, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay. When in essence, telling someone it's okay to do whatever they want continuously, it creates this space where they don't practice, they don't do shit because they know that it's okay eventually to do something. So they're not creating a practice. They don't have anything to really account for. And so that's when the Tower manifests in the future of the witches, when what they're saying is expressing is, you know, it's not okay, and our expression, the witch, will fall if we don't actually pay attention and recreate the foundation to what it should be. And so the Ten of Coins is expressing, there's a lot of earthly materialistic shit going on. There's a lot of clutter. There's a lot of there is too much going on, and you're again kind of like hoarders. You're collecting and collecting and collecting. You have all this stuff, but you really don't know what you're doing with it. And so the expression of this card is saying that, you know, you're at this final stage, this final essence where you might step into something new, but you don't know with what you have. You just have stuff. So it's important for us to realize that while we do have what it takes, we have the stuff made, you know, it's here for us and with us. If we don't know what we're doing, if we don't know how to put them to use, if we don't work with them constantly, they're of no use to us, and we can't craft with them. We can't do much with it because we don't have that relationship, that skill set, that building of energy that creates this atmosphere where the witch can step into his or her own and become more empowered.
Yes. Yes. Oh my gosh. Yes. All of that. And that's so true. And for those of you who watched our previous show, What Witches Do, you will know the relevance of all of this because we talked about this before, specifically on that show. You know, it is tools are important. Having certain tools, herbs, crystals at your disposal is a great thing. But to have, you know, we see a lot of these witches who are very public, you know, and it's all about the stuff. It's all about the halls. It's all about the witchy room that you're decorating. It's all about the millions of bookshelves shoved with shit. And, you know, what is that accomplishing? What is that doing? How is that helping us move forward? It's not. You know, if you're just dusting trinkets, then that's all you're doing. And
Yeah.
that is not anything to build a structure on. That's not anything to have this foundation. I can have every damn crystal there is in the Encyclopedia of Crystals, you know, by Judy Hall, and that does not make me a practicing witch. That makes me a bitch with a lot of crystals.
Right. And I think what, you know, Melissa's also expressing is like, if you have all this shit, that's cool, but work it. And what we're expressing here
Yeah.
is like there's this disconnect where people feel like they can have everything and then they have that slight trust, oh well, I have it, so eventually I can get to it. So they don't do the work until the last minute. We're like, oh shit, I know I have this, so I guess, you know, I'm already, you know, let's say I'm almost dead, you know, but I have the spell. But I haven't practiced shit, so I really don't have the power to run the spell. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So
Exactly.
that's kind of what we're expressing. That's what the witches of past, present, and future are expressing. The future of witchcraft and witches is very dependent upon how we act currently, and how we, you know, treat our craft currently. And it's not about being disrespectful or rude or judging someone for not practicing or whatever. No, it's about being passionate about, you know, witchcraft and being passionate about the witches who have paved the way for us, and it's being respectful and mindful of what it took to do that. And it's taking what they did and actually honoring it and giving it life and not bastardizing it by doing nothing with it. So we,
Right.
yeah, it's time for us to hold each other accountable for what we express and hold each other accountable for the practice that we do.
Right, exactly. You know, don't hide in the comfort of having all these things. You know, there is a comfortability there where it's like, oh, well, I don't have to do, like Michael said, I don't have to do things. Look at all this stuff. I have everything that I would possibly need to ever do anything ever. So I'm comfortable.
Right.
You know, we kind of hide into that. And don't get me wrong. I mean, we all can have a tendency to gather things to us for comfort. You know, kind of like when you're cold. Let me say this because I'm freezing right now. When you're cold, and so you snuggle down into the couch and you pile covers over covers on top of you, and the whole time, if you just turn the heater up, you
Right.
know, but you're comfortable because you are surrounded and cocooned with all of this stuff, so you're comfortable, you know. Granted, but you have all the blankets in the house, so everyone else is freezing their asses off when everyone could have been comfortable if you just turned the heat up.
Right.
So apply the heat, use stuff, create, and be inspired, be like the flame, consume it and expel it and change it into something else.
Right. Yeah, and that's kind of that's what the witches have expressed, and that's what we've channeled, and that was weird, but oh well. And I feel like that's a good starting point. And if y'all have any questions, if you want to do a video and utilize this as a format for your video response, we would love to hear it and see it. If you want to do a blog post, please do so. We want to interact. We want to share and gain knowledge and share what we have and have fun. But yeah, I think that's kind of all that they're saying. Do you have anything else that you'd like to express before we peace out?
No, I'm good.
All right, y'all. I guess until next time, be blessed.
Bye.